YouTube is LMERicoTv, man. I'm back with another video, man. Y'all see what we got going on. We got a sad story of Harlem Spartans. Now, this video is dropped by Kid Nerd, and shout out to Kid Nerd, man, because he's been rocking with me and stuff. I know he commented like on a video or two of mine a long time ago and stuff, and he pretty much said he supported my reactions and stuff, and I definitely said I support his content as well, because without him, shit, some of these reactions I do wouldn't be possible. So shouts out to him for sure. And go check him out, man. He definitely do his research before he posts his videos and stuff. And I think he's very credible in the stuff he talks about. So other than that, man, shouts out to Kid Nerd. But that said, man, I haven't really been reacting to Harlem Spartans lately a lot. And over the years, even that I've been reacting to UK Drill, I think I only reacted to a few music videos of theirs, and then a few videos where it was talking about some of the stuff they had going on in the streets and stuff with other gangs and stuff like that in London and stuff. So that said, I said I'm gonna have to definitely react to this, man, because this is just another video for me to really learn more about them and stuff and see what they got going on pretty much over this time period. But other than that though, man, y'all know what time it is. If you're brand new to the channel or you've been watching videos on the channel but not yet, subscribe. Please hit that subscribe button now. As y'all see, I'm on the grind to 10K, man. Shouts out to y'all that's been rocking with me and supporting the channel this far, because without y'all, my channel wouldn't be where it is. And hopefully I hit that 10K sometime this year, man. So like I said, if you haven't hit that sub button yet, please hit it now. Also, don't forget to tell your family and friends about the channel as well. Hopefully they become supporters of the channel. Also, make sure you guys don't forget to smash that like button and comment on the video to help the video get recommended to a larger audience of people and hopefully bring new supporters to the channel. And also, don't forget to turn on post notifications so you guys get notified when I drop new videos, and be sure you don't miss out on new videos. Check out the channel every single day. Also, don't forget to add and follow me on social media, man. All my social media platforms are listed down below in the description box as well as in the intro of the video, so you guys shouldn't have a hard time at all finding me on social media. Now, with that said, man, y'all know what time it is. I'm going to go ahead and start the screen record. That started and starting the vid now.
Guys, your boy Kid Nerd here, back with another video. And today, we're exploring the rise and fall of South London drill group Harlem Spartans, and what a lot of young people nowadays can take and learn from their rise and fall. But before I get into this video, follow me on Instagram for a chance to win a £100 Amazon gift card. Insta is on the screen now, so get following for the chance to win that. Let's get into the video. So Harlem Spartans is a gang located in the South London town of Kennington, and Harlem really put their area on the map, with smash hits like Kennington Where It Started, which is now on 16 million views. And around these times in 2016 to 2017, they were really the biggest things out in drill, and were even one of the biggest pushers for UK drill to be played on the international level, with rappers like Drake being heavy fans of the group. And they were even big influences for overseas drill groups to start making their music, like the popular Australian drill group 1-4. But behind all these numbers and recognition, real stuff was going on in the streets, and due to their come up being so fast and explosive, it was clear that the group hadn't adjusted yet to keeping the streets and their music separate, which resulted in the massive eventual downfall of their group. So before...
And what I'll say to that part for sure, man, once you make it the legal way, like you doing something that you dreamed of doing or whatever the case may be, at that point, you got to start knowing when to leave certain shit behind. Now, like, when you get to that point, I feel like your goal is to obviously become rich and be able to provide for your family to get them out the trenches and stuff. So do that. So when you got the opportunity to do that, don't fumble it. The streets is always going to be there, but at the end of the day, everybody's goal is to get out the streets. I don't think anybody's goal is to be in the streets and stay in the streets forever. If you asking me, it's stupid if you think that's what you should do forever. Yeah, you might get clout, cool points, the females and all that shit, etc., but think about it like this. Would you rather be rich and not have to watch over your back 24/7, being in the trenches all the time, and still be able to make a lot of money now the legal way instead of the illegal way, still getting the females, still getting the clothes, the cool points, the clout, etc., the legal way? Wouldn't you rather have that? Or you think it's more important to still be in the streets and have have that pretty much speak for you at the end of the day all the time forever? Because that shit can only take you so far before you either get caught up and get put in jail for a long period of time, or possibly forever for the rest of your life, depending on what you got caught up for. And then on top of that, or possibly end up 8 feet under. Nah, you ain't able to do nothing. You ain't able to provide for your family anymore. You ain't able to provide for your friends or people you was looking out for anymore, et cetera, the whole nine. Cause now, what if they life was dependent on you, and now you gone? So now you not only costed your own life, now you costed other people their livelihood because those people probably really needed you. And I ain't saying that it should be like that, because at the end of the day, once you get on, you should also put your people on so that way they don't have to depend on you no more. You don't ever want to be in a situation where you feel like people are only around because you got money. You should be able to feel like they still the same people that was with you before you had the money and the fame, et cetera, et cetera. So it's always ways to do things the right way and help people get put in better positions in life. You ain't always necessarily got to provide for them once you get rich, but you could definitely put them on and put them in position to now they can be their own successful bosses and do their own thing and provide for themselves now, like how you are and how you grinded and got to the top the way you got to the top, the legal way. So you just gotta really think at the stuff like that, man. Do you want to be somebody that's still in the streets and possibly risking their life every single day to run the streets and doing illegal shit and get caught up and possibly put in jail or killed, et cetera, et cetera? Or would you rather be the person, like I said, that's at the top now, the legal way, providing for your family, your friends, et cetera, and living a better lifestyle where you ain't always gotta watch over your shoulder because now you got money to be anywhere in the world that you want to be, and obviously get away from the enemies that you had got while you was in the streets and stuff. That's all you got to pretty much think about, man. So everybody got to have your priorities got to be right, man. You can't have your priorities back in the bad shit. Focus on the bad shit. You got to have it focus on the right shit, so that way you continue to go up in life, not to go backwards and down and possibly forever fumble and you now stuck in the bottom. So y'all got to think about stuff like that, man. That's all I'm gonna say on that. At the end of the day, y'all your own boss, y'all your own self. So it's up to you on how you would want your life to be. I can't tell you what to do with it, but if I'm coming from the streets, but I got an opportunity to get out the streets, I'm taking that opportunity to get out the streets and make my money the legal way. Simple. Like I said, I don't think it's anybody's goal is to be in the streets forever. But some people possibly do, and that's them. It is what it is. If they want to live like that, let them live like that. But if you got the opportunity to get out, take it, man. It's simple. It'll take you a lot farther if you had that opportunity to be rich the legal way, for real, for real. But now let's continue on.
Before Harlem Spartans became a thing, the local gang in the Kenton area was called Cuckoo, also known as Black Prince, who were a quite small and not really that recognised gang in South London, in times where South London was a complete war zone. This was during the infamous beef between the two neighbouring areas in South London called Brixton and Peckham, where Kenton was on Peckham's side against Brixton. Kenton didn't really have that much involvement in this feud, but in 2006 they did stab to death a 15-year-old Brixton gang member called Tiny Alien, right after he finished his Year 11 GCSE exams. So the area Kenton, where Harlem Spartans are from, has historically always had a feud with Brixton gangs, and throughout the years, the area has picked up quite a few other enemies, like Peckham, who they were close allies with during their war against Brixton. But despite the area's smaller gang size, they have still managed to hold down all their beef. And then the younger generation of Kenton started to form, who we know now today as Harlem Spartans. Most members from Harlem went to a school called Tennyson's in Oval, South London, but this school also included a lot of kids from Brixton as well as Kenton. And obviously, Kenton and Brixton Olders were beefing at the time, but this wasn't a concern for Harlem members during school. And during school, members of Harlem and kids from Brixton were actually friends, and quite a few Harlem members used to rep Brixton gangs during secondary school, like Mizormac, who used to rep the Brixton Gang 17, and Loski, who used to rep the Brixton Gang 150. And even in a few songs, Harlem members and members from an opposing Brixton gang called 410 referenced their friendships in their songs.
My siblings, he was my friend from years, boys from there, soon a victim. Well, you know.
And AD, he was my friend from years. Why you gotta fuck with them? Niggas ain't.
5,000 years of Chinese music and dance in one night.
And I would say basically based off what he's saying right now and what they rapping in right now and stuff, it's like that a lot of places more than y'all think, because even out here in the US, I done seen people have this type of shit happen where they was friends for years, but now they beefing with each other because when we got older, now they on these different neighborhoods where they live and stuff, and now they a part of the street shit that they neighborhoods is involved in. So now it's only right they become enemies because these two neighborhoods pretty much don't like each other, et cetera, because they got certain gangs that live in them and do they shit. So it's definitely common when people get in the street life and stuff when they get a little bit older and stuff, because some people get in it because they got family or friends that's involved in it, or also because people lost their life in it that they cared about, so now they feel like they got to be a part of the shit to get revenge and stuff, and so on and so forth. So it's just sad thing, man, that people would really throw away their friendship just to be a part of the street life and stuff, and do these types of things to one another and stuff, and they think that that's cool and all right for them to do. But at the end of the day, too, you gotta also understand, I can kind of see why some of them get in the streets, because some of them might have shit that they got going on behind the scenes where they probably can't get a legal job or whatever the case may be. So now they only options is to be in the streets and do the illegal shit to make money and stuff like that. So it's a lot of reasons for why people be in the streets and stuff, whether it's for the right reasons or the wrong reasons. Everybody at the end of the day got shit that they dealing with behind the scenes that some of us don't even know for real. So I wouldn't sit here and say I judge people that choose to be in the street life, because I know how it is to be in the trenches and stuff, and you don't have it all. You don't be able to have all the of materialistic things that you see other people in your neighborhood, or not even in your neighborhood, but go to school with and stuff that they got and shit, and you ain't got it like that. So now you wearing shit that people probably think isn't cool, and people make fun of you for it. So that's why too some people hop in the streets at a young age, because they see fast money as good money and stuff, when really it brings a whole lot of consequences with it and stuff. And now they grown accustomed to how that lifestyle is, and now that's all they know probably and stuff like that. They don't think about, oh, what if I had the opportunity to make shit the legal way or anything like that. And sometimes too, if they in a certain situation where they really need money, they can't afford to wait on a paycheck to paycheck type of job where they gotta wait a week or every 2 weeks before they get paid or something crazy. They need that money right now, or else they gonna be more messed up. People probably gonna not be able to eat and stuff, et cetera, shit like that, because they probably got people dependent on them. And that's how it is for some people. So I'm not one to judge, but all I'm saying is, if you got the opportunity after you did all the street shit, but you got a real legit opportunity of making money the legal way and being your own boss, take that opportunity. That's all I'm saying, man. And you'll understand pretty much, like I said, if you really think about all the things of why you was in the streets in the first place, whether it was to take care of people that depend on you, or whatever the case may be. Like I said, you might have shit going on that we don't know about. So only you know pretty much what's good for you to do at the time and shit like that. And unfortunately, the streets is just one of those things that people choose or think that they need to do because of the simple fact of fast money. And that's what kind of drives people to be in the streets, because of that fast money. People don't want to wait 2 weeks or every week to pretty much get a paycheck. They rather just have that money right then and there when they want to have it, pretty much. So, like I said, man, once you get to a certain point in your life and where you finally got that opportunity to get out, take it. Because at the end of the day, the street life can only take you so far. Because once you dead and gone, then what? Now people just gonna say he was a real street nigga and that was it. And that's all they gonna keep saying until they gone or whatever the case may be. Make your own legacy. Create your own paths for your people. Put them on. Put everybody on that you want to help out in life and stuff like that, and get them out the trenches. That's the right way to do it. Simple. But now let's continue on.
Real
But these friendships were before Harlem was really properly formed into a group. And after Harlem members left Tennyson School and started to go to college, older members of the Cuckoo Gang, who were running Kenton at the time, started to take these younger Harlem members under their wing. We started off with Harlem members chilling on the Kenton blocks alongside the older Cuckoo Gang, and then eventually the younger started to trap off Cuckoo members' lines and making money alongside them. And this is how a lot of gang affiliation starts, with older members bringing you in to chill around the gang, which will eventually result in you making money with the olders, probably trapping. And then eventually, after spending a lot of time with these guys, you will see them as family, and the next thing you know, you're throwing up gang signs and riding for these people. So while Harlem was starting to chill in Kenton more heavily with the older gang Cuckoo, Brixton gangs who beefed Cuckoo started to recognize the younger Harlem members to be wrapped up in this beef as well. And this was really the start of Harlem Spartans' gang involvement. Originally the gang came under two separate sets, one called Kenton Park and one called Younger Cuckoo, but eventually the lines got blurred between these two and they just started to roll as Harlem Spartans. Then in 2014, the group started to record music at a local youth centre and started releasing some tracks in 2015 with early tunes like Re-Up, 3000 Savage and Shit Then, coming from the two Harlem rappers Blanco and Biz, as well as other rappers TG Million and Zico dropping solo tunes, and younger Harlem members like C-Rose dropping some exclusives. But C-Rose didn't allow himself to grow in music properly, because in the same year of 2015, he was convicted of manslaughter and was sentenced to 16 years in prison. It was really when Harlem rapper Loski jumped on the scene that the gang really started to get some recognition, and the song that really took off was Loski's song Hazards in June 2016, which was literally the song of the summer that year. You couldn't go anywhere in London without that song being played, and the reason why this song took off so much wasn't just because it sounded good. At the time, this was one of the most disrespectful drill tunes out, with a couple direct disses towards a Brixton gang called 150, when Loski said,
"Violence no meds. They say 150 but it's 146. Should a friend them dead."
and this is in reference to the 4 150 members who had died at the time, which were Pistol, SQ, Gauze and Jay Munner. But one of his next lines was one of the most disrespectful lines in drill.
Hey, shorty just also long, looking like Gora's coffee.
Gora was a respected member of the 150 gang who had died in 2015 after he borrowed money off another 150 member but refused to pay it back. So the other 150 member just shot and killed him. Now after Loski just mocked Gora, 150 members weren't happy about this obviously, and the 150 rapper called Sticks shortly after posted a video of himself on Harlem's block. Also in some leaked Twitter messages between the same members, Sticks and somebody else, you can see Sticks says they're mashing work on the field youths, which basically means that Harlem were putting some real pressure on them on the streets. And the field youths that Sticks was referring to was another gang called 410 in Brixton, who were allied with the 150 gang and were beefing Harlem. For a fairly newly established gang, Harlem were really starting to make some noise in the music and on the streets. There's hella videos on YouTube of Harlem members attacking 410 members on CCTV and cameras. Shortly after the release of Loski's diss track Hazards in 2016, he went to jail for possession of a knife, which he got quite a bit of time for. But luckily for him and the group, the other members of Harlem picked up where he left off and started growing the Harlem Spartans name, dropping UK drill classics at the end of 2016 and the start of 2017, like Call Me a Spartan and Kenton Where It Started, which was literally on replay all throughout the UK in 2017, and even got the Canadian rapper Drake co-signing Harlem Spartans.
We've helped millions of creators improve their SEO to grow their YouTube channels. TubeBuddy is a platform that helps you save
and captioning his Snapchats with Harlem lyrics. Quite early on, another Harlem rapper called JoJo was arrested and sentenced to 7 years in prison for possession of a knife, a firearm, grievous bodily harm and robbery, which is a real small sentence for all them crimes. And it's a shame because JoJo had a real potential to blow up in the drill scene. But on the other side of the pond, their ops, 410 in Brixton, were also killing the music game in 2017, especially their Mad About Bars, which is on nearly 30 million views. And both 410 and Harlem were at the top of the game in 2017, and would even often sneak diss each other in hit songs. But despite Harlem Spartans really taking off in 2017, 2017 was also their start of their downfall. After the Call Me a Spartan video was released, Harlem rapper TG Million got into a high-speed chase with one of his ops. When catching up, he stabbed him, causing grievous bodily harm, and he was eventually found guilty and sentenced to 12 years. This left the rappers Mizormac, Blanco and Biz to hold it down for the group, while the rest were inside. But that was no issue, with Mizormac being probably one of the best drill artists the UK has ever seen, and Blanco and Biz having their own unique style that fans love, with the three dropping some classics like 21st Century Spartans, Kent Nizzy and No Hook. But there was one issue. Fans started to notice that Mizormac and Blanco wasn't in the No Hook music video, despite it being their own song. Well, not too long before the video, Blanco and Mizormac actually got arrested themselves while riding on their ox with a gun and samurai sword in February 2017. It was 1 o'clock in the morning, and both were in the back of a cab in Camberwell, South London, looking for ops. When their cab...
Now, some of this I definitely remember in other videos I was reacting to and stuff like that. So some of this stuff I do remember and know about already and stuff. But yeah, man, you pretty much got the opportunity at your hands. Don't fumble it, because now you putting yourself in a position where now you gotta constantly restart back from square one and shit. You don't never want to be put in a situation where you almost getting to the top, but then now you get knocked back down to the bottom, and now you got to redo everything and try to get back to where you were before. And sometimes some people can't recover like that. So like I said, man, when you got that opportunity, take it. Do not fumble it. Because now they left with possibly gotten to still do the street shit on top of still trying to do the music. And then on top of that, also put themselves back on top with the music shit in order for them to not have to keep doing the street shit anymore as well. So that's how it is, man. It's simple. You don't want to get lost in the system that's ultimately set up for you to fail regardless anyway. So you might want to just put yourself in a position where you get an opportunity to make it the legal way on your own, doing the things you loved and dreamed about doing. That's obviously going to bring you tons of legal money. It ain't no point of you sticking in the streets just to get illegal money and shit the illegal way. Like, you don't want to be put in a situation where you get jammed up and now you in prison or something crazy. That's just me though, man. If I got that opportunity, best believe I'm not finna fumble it. After I get what I need to do, I'm out the streets. I'm moving out of there. I'm taking the people that I obviously wanted to help bring along and take care of, or whatever the case may be, so I can put them on, and now they on the same level as me or better. Better than still living in the trenches and still trying to show that I'm cool and got this going on in the streets, and now people can say I'm a real nigga. Because at the end of the day, that can only take you so far. Because like I said, once you dead and gone, then what? Now the people that was possibly depending on you or whatever the case may be, now they still stuck in the trenches. And people probably, the same people that you was calling bro and shit, probably not even help taking care of them. So now your family just stuck in the trenches. The people that you probably wanted to help get out the trenches, now you can't do it because you dead and gone. And now all your people that you call bro is just left saying, RP bro, he was a real one. That's all they gonna be able to say. They not gonna be able to still provide for your family like you were. They not possibly gonna even do a little bit of that. And that's usually how it goes for a lot of them. So yeah, man, it's crazy. But other than that, though, man, we're going to go ahead and get back to this video, though, man. I pretty much said what I had to say right now, so we're going to get right back to it.
2017. It was 1 o'clock in the morning, and both were in the back of a cab in Camberwell, South London.
Also, if y'all see me looking at my phone, it's because I'm getting messages and stuff, and I'm trying to make sure I'm reading them a little bit so I know what's going on and stuff with the people that's texting me and shit. But other than that, that's nothing to worry about. We're going to go ahead and continue on.
London, looking for ops. When their cab got pulled over and they were caught with a gun and samurai sword, Mizormac got 6 years and Blanca got 3 years. And it was starting to come clear that Harlem's beef with opposite areas started to take over their music. And Harlem started to become very heavily monitored by police, which just made everything hot for them, because they were really putting in some work on the streets. Then in June of 2017, Harlem's original main rapper Loski was released from jail, and wasted no time releasing his first tune, Teddy Bruckshot, which was an instant hit, dropping other bangers like Money and Beef, Call Me Loose, and his Tim Westwood freestyle. And also at the end of 2017, dropping another song with a rapper called Mayski, called Mummy's Kitchen, which was a very rude song to their ops. Mayski is from a gang called Moscow 17, which is allied with Harlem, and their main beef was with a gang called Zone 2 located in Peckham, southeast London, which is also a very hot beef, which I won't go into too much in this video because I might make a separate video on this in the future. But throughout the Mummy's Kitchen song, they dissed dead ops and different street situations. It started to seem like Harlem was making a comeback though, with Loski growing massively, and younger Harlem members starting to jump on drill, like on drills and LM, and they were also starting to rack up views as well. So 2018 was looking like a good bounce back from Harlem. But then on May 5th, 2018, a car pulled up to Moscow 17's block, the gang which was affiliated with Harlem which I mentioned earlier. while a 17-year-old rapper called GB from Moscow was playing football with another member called Incognito on their block. GB was shot and killed, but the gang who killed GB was actually trying to kill Incognito after Incognito beat a murder case of an affiliated member. And this murder is actually still unsolved, so I'm not going to speculate who killed GB, because I only talk about situations which have actually already been prosecuted for. The death of GB made South London very, very hot at the time, with both sides riding out heavily during the whole summer, and both sides taking many snaps on each other's block and dissing each other.
Here's one thing you need to do before you start your holiday shopping. Don't spend another dime on Amazon until you watch this first.
Watch this.
I don't know. Huh? Was that attempted? Was it the murder?
Come outside, man. Come outside, man. Come outside.
Very much. Wish a nigga would. And 2 months after GB's death, unfortunately the beef was stepped up to another level. Rapper SA from Harlem was riding on his ops block on the back of a moped, loaded with a gun looking for his ops. When he spotted some ops in the car, he got close and aimed his gun, but his gun jammed and he was stabbed 5 times. SA and his other accomplice drove away after SA was stabbed, but after a half of a mile of riding away, the other accomplice pushed SA off the ped and shouted to the public to take him to hospital, more than likely to save himself from being wrapped up in the situation. The member who pushed SA off the ped was actually from Harlem's affiliated gang called Moscow 17. And of course, Harlem was not happy about one of their members pushing SA off the ped and leaving him to die. So both gangs started to go back and forth, which caused a big divide between them. But less than 2 weeks after SA's death, Moscow 17's leader was also stabbed to death on the same street where GB was killed. And Incognito was even one of the only Moscow members left that Harlem was still cool with at the time. But after these recent L's, Harlem were riding a lot and were going on an absolute rampage. But at the same time, Harlem Spartans were being monitored by the police heavily. Harlem rapper G Smarko rid on his ops block for revenge and shot a rival and was sentenced to 21 years in prison. Another Harlem rapper Scratcher and GG were riding out on their ops with a gun and were caught, then were sentenced to 15 years combined. And another member of Harlem, Jug, was jailed for 10 years after stabbing a man in the head, leaving permanent brain damage. And member T Trap, another member of Harlem Spartans, was jailed for 21 years after murdering a man who disrespected one of his friends. So as I said before, Harlem were just going on a rampage after losing their friends, and clearly.
And that's the thing, man. The longer you in the streets, you possibly gonna have situations like this. Cause once something happened to one of your people, now you left wanting revenge and shit. Now you doing shit that's constantly possibly gonna set you back and back. And sometimes to the point you might not even be able to recover from that. Like once you possibly get caught up for an attempted M or an actual murder charge, your life pretty much basically almost over at that point. Say you do get out 7 years, 10 years plus later or something crazy, you ain't guaranteed to still be able to come back if you was doing music or something that was getting you good money the legal way or whatever the case may be. You ain't possibly going to be able to come back to that same type of life. Like people probably growed older and moved on or found people that's more consistent or people that's staying out of trouble, et cetera, and probably rocking with them and stuff. And now you looking like a person that's pretty much a has-been at that point. And sometimes it's hard to recover. It's just that simple, man. To be a boss, you got to stay at the top pretty much the entire time you around. You can't afford to take time off or whatever the case may be and shit, because now it's only going to make it harder for you to remain a boss. Now you ultimately left with, now you gotta still be in the streets, or you pretty much gotta get a regular 9-to-5 job and stuff. Not necessarily gonna get you out the trenches or anything, but at least you get some type of legal money, but it's gonna be a lot less than what you had when you had that opportunity to be rich and be your own boss and stuff and put yourself and your family up to the point where now they can be bosses themselves and stuff, and now everybody living good, the rich, lavish lifestyle and shit. So like I said, man, you just gotta know your priorities, man. You gotta put your priorities on the right things instead of the bad. And like I said, when you get the opportunity to finally make it out the hood and in the street life and shit, do it. Or else you just gonna be left with, like I said, possibly setting yourself back multiple times, having to restart and all that shit. And then, like I said, once you dead and gone, you ain't guaranteed to have people looking out for your family. So now your family, now they without you, and now they still living in the trenches, still struggling to live and survive. But other than that, man, y'all your own boss. Y'all gotta know what's right and wrong. Y'all gotta know what's good for you and not good. So it is what it is, man. But other than that, let's continue on. There's only a couple minutes left.
Started to focus more on their beef than the music, but Loski was still holding it down for the group musically, still getting millions of views on his songs. But in 2019, it seemed like the roads were getting the best of him again, when he was arrested in his cab while he had a firearm on him, leaving the Harlem rapper Biz to be the only free rapper of Harlem Spartans still out. But when Biz was going home after his last music video called Beretta at the end of 2019, he started to get into an argument with some people on the phone, which he then arranged to meet after the argument. When he met the guys he was arguing with, he attempted to swing a mallet at the guys, but dropped it and was set upon and stabbed to death, right after filming one of his best music videos, which is now on 2.1 million views, leaving the gang pretty much all wiped out. Quite a few members of the gang also got time for drug offences, like Old Boy, who was caught when officers spotted people in a queue outside of his trap house, and was sentenced to 2 years and 8 months for possession with intent to supply, and Snow, who was caught in Wales, running a county line drug operation, and was sentenced to 4 years, and Hector, who was caught drug trafficking, and was sentenced to 4 years as well. Both rappers Mizormac and Loski have both been released from jail since, and teamed up and made a song called On Me that went viral, and it seemed like the gang might have been revived, especially after the rapper Blanco was also freed. But since then, Mizormac and Loski have both been sent back to jail, and are currently there right now. And this is the end to a sad story of a group who were on top, but allowed the streets to consume what they had, which I really hope is a wake-up call to a lot of people, that the streets really cannot lead to anywhere but death or prison. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. It's been your boy Kid Nerd, and peace out.
And that's the end of the video, man. So that's pretty much what I was saying too, man. Like I said, you don't want to be living this street life forever. And on top of that, you don't want your family and friends to have to still live in the trenches if y'all really down bad and they depending on you to make it out and shit like that. Like I said, at the end of the day, you don't gotta take care of them. I'm not saying that you ain't gotta always get them money and shit, but you can get put in a position where you can be able to put them on so they can become their own bosses like you and doing whatever they do, whatever they got a passion for, whether it be gaming or fashion, etc., entrepreneur who sells and does things and stuff like that. So everybody got their own ways of becoming rich and stuff. They ain't got to necessarily rap or anything, etc., There's a whole bunch of ways to become rich now. So, hey, man, like I said, y'all, it's up to y'all on how y'all take this information and what y'all do with it, man. Do y'all want to be the people that still ride or die forever, living in the street life and living on the streets and stuff, doing the street shit and possibly risking your life every day to make fast money? Or would you rather be somebody who gets an opportunity to become rich and now become your own boss and help set up your family to become their own bosses and stuff? So now everybody on your team is winning. You gotta weigh your priorities, man. Once you get the opportunity, best believe you better not fumble it and let it pass you by, because it's gonna be hard to come across it again, let alone multiple times. Like it's gonna be hard. Each time getting harder and harder than the last one. But that's the end of the video, man. If you're brand new to the channel, you've been watching videos on the channel but not yet subscribed, please hit that subscribe button now. As I said before, I'm on the grind to 10K. Hopefully I hit that very soon, and hopefully sometime this year, man. And shouts out to y'all, like I said earlier, because without y'all, my channel wouldn't be where it is. And also make sure y'all don't forget to smash that like button and comment on the video to help the video get recommended to a larger audience of people and hopefully bring new support to the channel. Also, don't forget to turn on post notifications so you guys get notified when I drop new videos, and be sure you don't miss out on new videos. Check out the channel every single day. And also don't forget to add and follow me on social media. All my social media platforms are listed down below in the description box as well as in the intro of the video, so you guys shouldn't have a hard time at all finding me on social media. With that said, though, man, that's the end of the vid. Now, because you guys later on more, so stay tuned. Peace.